To all those people watching, I like to remind everyone that this video is not made for kids. It's for older fans and adults. Enjoy the fucking video!
Whenever the Fat Controller's engines pull into the station, the guard look through the carriages to see if there's any lost property. Lots of things can be found and are taken to the lost property office. One day, Duck puffed into the station as usual. Once the passengers had left his train, his guard goes around his coaches to see if there was any lost property. When they found some items, Duck noticed a teddy bear poking out of the box. "Whose teddy bear is that?" he asked. "It's mine," shouted a happy voice. "I bought him in France a few days ago. Thank you for finding it." "It's alright there, lad. But remember to keep a good lookout for your bear next time." "I will, thank you." And the little boy left with his mother feeling very happy. Duck smiled warmly. "You know," he said to his guard, "seeing that boy with that teddy bear reminds me of the time when I connected with one." "You did," chuckled the guard. "Indeed. It all happened 2 years after I arrived on Sodor." Before Duck ran the Little Western, he was busy shunting in the yards at the big station. It was a busy day and there were so many trucks and coaches to place for the other engines. As Duck shuttered some coaches into the platform for Gordon, he saw a couple looking around the station. The woman was holding a stuffed teddy bear in her arms. Duck looked confused. "Why is a grown woman holding a stuffed bear?" he murmured. "Quiet, Duck," hissed his driver. "Toys can be cherished by everyone, even adults." "Well, if you ask me, I think it's rather strange." And he puffed away to collect more coaches. When the day was over, Duck puffed wearily into the shed. Gordon, Henry, and James were in the shed too, chatting happily with each other. Duck looked towards the 3 big engines and sighed sadly. "Good night, Duck," said his driver. "See you in the morning." Good night," stuttered Duck. Ever since Duck had moved from the Great Western Railway, he had been feeling quite lonely. "I wonder how my friends of the Great Western are doing without me," he thought. He hadn't made many friends on Sodor. His only friend was Percy, and at that time he lived on the Farquhar branch line with Thomas and Toby. Duck sighed and then went fast asleep. The next morning, Duck was up bright and early to do some shunting. As he puffed into the big station with Gordon's coaches, he noticed something on one of the benches. "Hey, it's that bear! What's it doing here all alone and not with its owner?" "Probably she left it behind by accident," replied his driver. He climbed down from the cab onto the platform and picked it up. "We'll keep it with us and return it whenever she arrives back." So that's what they did. While Duck was working, he was getting rather fond of the bear. He had treated it like a member of a family. At night he didn't feel sad and alone as the bear was placed on his running board. Duck felt content as he was sleeping happily away. The other engines thought it was strange. "Since when do engines sleep with a teddy bear?" whispered Gordon. "Just now," quipped James. "Well, if you ask me, it looks quite undignified." The next day it was bright and early, but it was greeted with a state of shock. "Oh no!" Gordon, Henry, and James woke up in shock, wondering where the noise had come from. They soon found out. "Duck, what are you yelling about?" "My bear, had you seen him?" You mean that stupid stuffed animal you were sleeping with? How should we know? It's not stupid, Duck shot back. It's a friend. We must find it. You'll find it later, but right now you must fetch my coaches, so get moving. So Duck hissed crossly away. While he was shunting, he kept thinking about his bear. Where could he be? He thought. He was so worried that he was nearing the buffers. Hey! Shouted the station master. Sorry, station master, he sighed. Don't let it distract you, Duck. I'm sure we'll find it. Out of the way, Duck. I need my rest. Oh, you're looking for that stuffed toy? Honestly, you're such a silly engine, all fussed over about some stuff and fluff. You know, Gordon, if you don't understand what I'm going through, then perhaps you should keep that big fat mouth of yours shut, Duck snapped. Gordon was speechless. He soon found his voice. Really, Duck, he said. Really? Telling of an engine of a high caliber? Really? Just shush. You don't understand what it's like being lonely. You three haven't interacted with me at all. Are you still annoyed because you got in trouble by me calling you out for being bossy to me and Percy? Because if you are then, sadly, you three are still holding a grudge 2 years later. That bear was my only friend here. It had kept me company and made me sleep easy at night. Gordon didn't say anything else. He just let out a sad whoosh of steam. Duck's crew looked at every nook and cranny of the sheds but couldn't find any bear. He's gone, he sighed. My friend is gone. Oh, thank you for finding my bear. Hey? My bear, it's been found, Duck shouted. Oh, I hope they aren't mad. But they weren't. They were smiling. Thank you, replied the woman. Thank you? For what, ma'am? Asked Duck. For taking care of my teddy bear. This bear is very special to me. My husband bought it for me for Christmas last year. It's true, replied the husband. He looked so alone that day. I felt sorry for it and bought it for my wife Brenda. Your controller told us that you kept it company. I'm so glad that he wasn't alone. Well, he kept me good company too. I have a friend here, but he lives elsewhere, and I don't see him that often. Well, Percy is still your friend, Duck, no matter how far you two are, replied Sir Charles. Duck? That's a strange name. Duck laughed. I'm really called Montague, but I prefer my nickname because everyone says I waddle. Oh, that's our train, Michael. We better get going. Lovely to talk to you, Duck. And thank you for looking after my bear. And thank you, sir, for finding it. Well, we are here to serve the public, replied Sir Charles Topham Hatt. Yes, thank you both. Goodbye. And they raced away to catch their train. A whole year had passed and Duck was still working at the big station, shunting coaches and trucks about. Sir Charles Topham Hatt walked towards him with a parcel behind his back. His driver opened the parcel to reveal a book. A bear called Paddington? The driver opened the book, and inside was a message. Thank you for looking after our bear Paddington last year, Duck. This book is for you, from Michael, Brenda, and Karen Bond. Well, what do you know? I was looking after a star with a very fine name, chuckled Duck. So you were looking after the original Paddington Bear? replied the guard, who was impressed. Indeed. Ever since that day, I now understand that a toy can bring great comfort to anyone in need. And what about Gordon, Henry, and James? Oh yes, well after I told off Gordon, he and the others learnt their lesson, and made me one of the family. That was until Diesel came to the island. But we made up. Alright, Duck, time to get you ready for your return journey. Righto, whistled Duck. And he puffed away, with a special passenger on board in his cab.